Good morning, beautiful souls. Welcome to the Art of the Oracle. How are you doing today? I have got the camera focused on the cards today, and I'm very excited. So we had a really interesting reading yesterday, which kind of was geared all around money. And I loved the reading and the input. And one of the things it was talking about was how we kind of limit our experiences, possibly through belief. Our beliefs could also help, expand our experiences. But yesterday's was all about money and how things, how we kind of associate ourselves with money. And there's a lot of energy, I feel like, around money and the lack of it or the having of it, especially here in the United States. There's a lot of our worth and our value tied around money. So I'm very interested to see if today's cards are bringing about any additional clarity, because I wanted to use these, the Great Archetype cards from Kim Krans. And okay, so I just barely opened them up. I was really feeling their energy coming through this morning. And I'm really glad I did. So this is a very interesting card, and I don't know that I've ever gotten this out. It looks like it's 74, so it could be one of the last cards in the deck. I think this is a deck of 76, and it's the Apocalypsis. And then we have the Sword, which is 62. And then we have 56 with the Gem. And I'm kind of seeing a bit of a theme going on here. Now, Kim Krans has really some beautiful input in her guidebook, which of course I'm going to read from to get the information that the cards are providing for us today. But as I just kind of tap in briefly to what I see, there's this seeing eye here right in the middle of this apocalypsis. And the first thing that is resonating with me is all these patterns and this kind of black and white. But there's in the center of all of this geometric and pattern, which almost looks like a spiderweb pattern. There's the eye and then the fire going on. And the information from the card in the guidebook is around removing the veil of deception. And so part of the money situation that we were looking at yesterday, I think, was things, our beliefs, but I don't think that it's just about, the way we maybe are limiting ourselves, but almost like the deception around the whole money situation in the first place, which could be around this, I've heard a lot of different things. I don't know if you have, about, banks failing and our currency changing. And no matter what happens, it's something that needs to happen because the system is not balanced. And I think that that's the energy. The first energy that's coming in here is about removing the veil of deception is what it's talking about. And when something is removed or opened or seen in a new way on a massive scale, like something that's really at the core of you, like money and our belief systems, it seems apocalyptic. So it says in the guidebook here, the first is the lifting of the veil. This means truth that has been kept in the darks are being revealed, seen, and unearthed, no matter how relieving it is to witness them come into the light. An element of despair and grief follows. The second dynamic is the regeneration that comes from the wreckage of the revealed truth. So it's almost as if this car is kind of like the tower, which is an inevitable moment of, everything falling apart, and that we all kind of felt it coming, but when it actually happens, it just, feels catastrophic at times. So when the veil lifts, we see who and what has been hiding, and from the nakedness of the truth, something is born from that. So when we see that we have been, maybe duped on some level and some things, that we feel somewhat violated around that, And, it can happen in many different levels of our life, in our world. And I kind of was going into this reading around the understanding of what this whole money situation was about. So, yeah, so I feel like it may or may not have something to do with that, but I'm kind of feeling a little bit like it has something to do with it. The veil is being lifted around a lot of different things. And this could also be a personal veil, like something that, is in your family that's becoming known. Because the sword here in a traditional tarot pack is around communication and around cutting through. And that's what this feels like to me right now. It's like the cutting through. And we're getting ready to go into this solstice time. We're just a couple days away. And if you find yourself this weekend, since the solstice is on, I believe, on Saturday, you can really set up something for yourself, a ritual around allowing this be a time of transformation, of awakening, whatever it is that you feel like you would like to find during this time. For yourself personally. And I feel like that the situation is ripe for that. Since we have this first card around something being lifted, and we're going into this solstice moment, and then we have the sword card, the knife, the blade. It can also be used as a weapon, and I'm making the connection between that and our words and our language and our thoughts and how we move about. It's like it's going to cut through, and to be aware of the power of your words and your communication, your thoughts, and what you are willing to cut out of your life and what you're willing to bring into your life. And it's interesting that we have this lightning bolt in here, which is associated with the Tower card, which is kind of around the same thing that I'm feeling with this Apocalypsis card. Right? And the sword bearer, somebody who wields a sword, can feel like they have a lot of power, and it can cut through things very quickly, but it's also very violent, right? It's a very violent way to work. So if you wield your sword, with clean integrity, it can cut the cord of something that has been binding you, right? So it doesn't have to be a sword that is destructive, although it can be. It can also be a sword of liberation. It could be a sword, which is what the veil lifting here, I think, is bringing in, is this time that is allowing us to see things in a new way, to change the boundaries, which was kind of what the cards were alluding to yesterday, is what is the boundaries that we've set up? What have we learned to kind of stay in line with, and what's no longer serving us? So these cards today, they're very black and white, but it's very interesting that this one has all this beautiful energy in the middle of it. And then we have in the middle of all the black and white again, here is the gem. So what is the gem that we're finding in the middle of all of this energy? There's a lot, I feel like, that's going on, that's sharing with us information, lifting things up and asking us to look at things a little bit different. So as you can see here with the gem, I feel like part of it is I'm getting something very unique, and I do meditations around chakra balancing and opening, and that's what I'm feeling. I'm feeling almost like this mystical energy of all of our chakras coming online after this time of being tied up in the middle of a lot of things that, just weren't allowing that energy to come out. But I'm feeling like this collective energy that's coming through, as if when the veil lifts, and then we cut the things that have been binding us for all this time, which could be done by things that are coming out, words that are being said, or perhaps that you're creating through your own rituals that you do. And by rituals, I mean, meditation, or, maybe you sit in prayer, or maybe you go out into the woods and you talk to the trees. Whatever that is, you do figure eight balancing or chakra balancing like I do, is going to allow this beautiful energy to come online. Like I feel I'm actually seeing it electrified and moving. All of this dynamic rainbow energy, something I feel like is being activated right now around this time, around the solstice, the 21st, and to be able to step into that. And it's showing the contrast between these two things, right? So I'm going to read a little bit from the guidebook. It says, the gem always stands in contrast to its surroundings. You can't find it when you are among comforts and pleasantries. Precious stones develop slowly, deeply in the earth and amid pressure and darkness. Discovering the gem requires a descent beneath the surface where there is no definite map. And I think that that's what this is, this moment, which is in Revelation, which is revealing something very powerful to us, something that is going to open up our ability to, our frequencies to come online and to empower us in a different way, and that we're going to see things. It's going to feel a little cataclysmic at times, right? With this lightning bolt and everything kind of falling apart that we knew. But I don't think it's a bad thing. I think it's actually a good thing that the darkness is giving way to the gem, the discovery in the middle. So because we have all been under a lot of pressure. I mean, I don't know anybody where things have just gone super smoothly their whole life and they haven't had challenges, especially around finances and being able to feel our true values on the planet. So the gem requires a descent beneath the surface where there is no definite map. Yet the longing to touch the true gem within us is so strong that we cannot help but seek out its radiance. Your gem, like your destiny, is unlike any other in the entire world. So keep digging. And I think that I have been seeing kind of images as I'm working with people of things like crumbling down. And I think it's everywhere. I think there is something that's falling apart right now and opening up. And I don't know if it has anything to do with, what they're saying is in the sky, or the new solstice, or I just feel like the energies that are coming in are they're vibrating at a higher level. And that if you stay focused and you do these beautiful practices around what you need and what you desire in this world, that you're going to stay in line with being able to uncover that gift that is here for us. And I think each gift is going to be unique. It could be that, you finally open up to the abundance coming into your life, or maybe a love relationship that's been eluding you. Maybe you have a spiritual awakening, or, like a Kundalini awakening or something like that. Or maybe there's just something that falls apart, and an awareness, once the dust settles after something big happens, and it's time to rebuild, I think everything's going to look brighter. So I really appreciate you being here. I'd love to hear your input on this reading. And until next time, have a magical day. Bye now.